In this video, we're going to set up a basic access control list, or ACL. So you see in the diagram here, we have two computers connected to a switch here, connected to a router, and on the other side of that router is a server. As you can see on PC 1, we go to the web browser. We have access to the web server that is on that server on the other side. You'll also see that we have access to that web server from PC number 2. And you'll see there. So what we're going to do is we are going to open the CLI for router 1. We're going to enter basic configuration terminal, and what we're going to do is go ahead and we're going to type in IP access list extended and then server access. So you have the command, and then the server access is actually the name of the ACL. Then we are going, and then you'll see it puts us into the configuration for the server access ACL. Then we're just going to write a quick note about what the ACL does, so that when we're looking through running config, we can figure out what the ACL does, and somebody who comes behind us and looks at it can figure it out as well. Good documentation provides ease of management, because you will probably not always be at the company that you set stuff up at. So then we're going to do permit TCP host 10.0.0.10, which is PC1, to www. And what that does is that allows PC, what you'll see here, that allows PC1 at this IP address access to the web server at this address. And then again, we're going to remark, and this one will be again, this allows the second PC down here, there's PC0 and PC1 on this diagram, but PC2 here is now allowed to access the web server as well. Then what we're going to do is add a additional ACL that allows PC1, or PC0 in this case, to access telnet to the router to be able to configure. Access router, telnet to router, enter, permit, and then we are going to set up another that denies all other traffic through the router. Go ahead and hit exit. Alright, and now at this point we actually have to go to the interface on the router that we want to apply this to. And we want to apply this to this interface right here, which is FA00 or Fast Ethernet 00 on this router. It doesn't do any good to apply it to this one, this FA01 on this side of the router, because it won't, basically you're creating a wall here. And then it has to, all the traffic hits the wall, and if it matches the correct hole in the ACL, it's allowed through the router. You put it over here, and it's backwards, and it won't block anything out. So what we're going to do is we'll type, get into the Fast Ethernet 00 interface, then we just type IP access group. In. That says any traffic coming in is applied to, the server access is applied to any incoming traffic to the Fast Ethernet 00 interface. We go ahead and hit end. You'll see it pops up and says configured from console by console. So let's go test it. So let's take PC0 and you can see we can get there. And if we go to a command prompt, you can see we can access our router through Telnet. Now let's go to the other PC. Okay, as you can see, we can get to the website. And you can see we cannot telnet. And we actually won't be able to put any traffic from this PC through that router for anything. We wouldn't be able to VPN. We wouldn't be able to use any port except for the HTTP port to that specific single address. So again, that's how you set up a very basic ACL in the Cisco IOS.